to get on. We're getting on our ferry at Scrabster and getting on the Northlink ferry, and we're going to head across to Stromness and the Orkney Islands. This morning I woke up to a beautiful day on the Orkney Islands in northern Scotland. It's just gorgeous. Little tiny bit of a breeze and the sun is out. So it's gonna be a beautiful day and we're gonna go find some history here. Super excited. A lot of Neolithic time period history, stones, just a lot of cool sights. So I'm excited to do this little adventure up here, and we're going to travel around the island and bring you along with us. So hope you enjoy. You can see the stones of Stone right here next to this beautiful loch that's in front of us. And we're going to go in and take a look at these. This is one of the oldest stone circles in Britain. We believe it's older than the famous Stone Henge. So let's go explore it. The stones were raised about 5,000 years ago. Originally, the circle consists of 11 or 12 stones. They were surrounded by a wide ditch crossed by a single causeway. Outside the ditch ran an outer bank. At the center of the circle was a large hearth. In Neolithic houses, the hearth formed a focal point. The hearth of Stone may have had a symbolic role linked to the layout of a house. The name Stone comes from the Old Norse, meaning stone promontory. We think that there were once more standing stones and sites in this landscape. Indeed, only recently archaeologists discovered the neighboring settlement at Barnhouse. These discoveries made through excavation and geological surveys raise new questions about the area and the relationships between the standing stones and other structures. So here are the stones of Stone that are situated right by the lake. I believe they said there's 2 lakes right here, and a short distance away is a village or a settlement, what was left of it. So we're gonna walk down this little path and go check out the settlement. And this is where I put music on and I speed up the process. In 1984, archaeologists made a surprising discovery close to the standing stones of Stone. Excavations uncovered a cluster of buildings dated to around 5,000 years ago. The village of Barnhouse dates from the same time as the standing stones of Stone, suggesting that the people who lived here used and perhaps even built the circle. 2 of the buildings at Barnhouse are rather unusual. The first is known as Structure 8. Its size and archaeological finds suggest a ceremonial function. Entry to the central building was carefully controlled and involved crossing a symbolic fireplace at the entrance. One of the most exciting discoveries here was a substantial two-room building called House 2. Larger and more prominent than the other structures, its walls are of high-quality masonry. Unusually, it has two chambers, one behind the other, each arranged around a central hearth. And here are the other structures, just two round, small structures near the structure number 2 and the structure number 8. The ring of Brodgar dates from around 2500 BC. This silent and mysterious monument is a remnant of an ancient circle and an ancient culture. It may have been a place of ritual, spectacular, and community gatherings. The ring may originally have had 60 standing stones, but only 36 survive today. Of these, 13 were re-erected after the site came into state care in 1906. One of the most surprising uses of the Ring of Brodgar was for tank training in 1941. The 9th Battalion of Gordon Highlanders used the ancient stones and ditch to practice maneuvers. In the winter of 1850, a severe storm hit Scotland, causing widespread damage. In the Bay of Skara, the storm stripped the earth from a large, irregular knoll known as Skara Brae. When the storm cleared, local villagers found the outline of a village consisting of a number of small houses without roofs. William Watt of Skara, the local laird, began an amateur excavation of the site, but after only 4 houses were uncovered, the work was abandoned in 1868. In 1924, another storm swept away part of one of the houses, and it was then determined that the site should be secured and properly investigated. The buildings and entrance passages at Skara Brae were set into a mound of domestic refuse called a midden, consisting of decomposed food waste, shells, and bones, similar to a compost heap. The midden came from an earlier settlement nearby and was brought here as the first stage of building this village. It provided stability for the walls and helped insulate these houses. Possibly the oldest and longest used structure in Skara Brae goes by the name of House 7. This structure, the best preserved on the site, was found to be standing on natural sand, while all the others in the settlement were built on the remains of previous structures. Inside excavations revealed the bodies of 2 women in a stone-built grave under the wall section. They appeared to have been placed there prior to the structure being built. This has led to the suggestion that bodies were involved in some sort of foundational ritual. The idea that House 7 was not a mere dwelling is strengthened when we consider that its door could only be bolted from the outside. In short, whoever went into House 7 had no physical control over when they got back out. Because it was specifically designed to be sealed off from the outside, it has been suggested that House 7 was used to exclude people from the rest of the community. Because the 5,000-year-old settlement is so fragile, visitors can only look down into the houses from above. This reconstruction provides a way for you to see what it would have looked like.